Hi friends, my name is Nikki and I am the host of Source Clarity. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I'm so excited for what we have to offer in this episode because all the information that we're going to share today has changed my life in ways that are almost difficult to articulate. And the more that I double down on integrating these protocols, these perspectives, these techniques, the more that my life continues to change. So I'm so grateful that all of you have this space to absorb this information. And I always say that the greatest life change, it doesn't necessarily come from just the offering or the podcast or whatever it is that, again, we are offering to the world. It has to do with the integration after the podcast. I always share this with clients in one-on-one sessions. I'm like, the greatest life change is going to happen after this session through integrating what we like to call in this community SAPs, Source Aligned Protocols. The Source Aligned Protocols that were intuitively channeled and tailored for you, and integrating those protocols and allow life to be that teacher. So today, when you absorb the information, I couldn't encourage you enough to begin asking yourself this question: how can I begin to integrate the information that I absorb from today? Today is going to be, again, a wildly special episode. This is going to be for a lot of entrepreneurs. We have a lot of entrepreneurs in this community, but also not only just for the entrepreneurs, it's just for anyone that has this desire to go beyond the limitations of the mind and to create a life that is filled, and let's just say this word, with abundance, right? Filled with goodness, a life that is in accordance with who you really are, your spirit self, because your innate self is abundant. Your innate self is filled with love. So the question is, well, how do we go about creating that life that we desire? And especially for entrepreneurs that are looking to build something that this world has yet to see. These two steps, I want to focus in on the two essential steps, the number two ways to begin this process in building something this world has yet to see. But again, ultimately, this is for really anybody, okay? So again, yes, we could say that this is for entrepreneurs, but really this is for anybody. And if you're listening to this, most likely you are an entrepreneur to some capacity, whether you know it or not. I hate to be the one to break that news to you. So the way that we're going to go about this is I'm going to share the first rule, and then I'm going to dive in. I'm going to share all the information about that first rule, and then I'm going to share the second rule, which goes hand in hand with the first rule. So let's just get right into it. The first rule, okay, to begin creating a life of abundance, to begin creating a life that feels in alignment with goodness, is to let go of feeling sorry for the self. Now, this is a slippery slope. The reason why it is a little bit of a slippery slope is because if we are, I don't love saying it this way, but overly positive, I guess you could put it that way, this could lead us to suppressing our emotions. So not feeling sorry for the self is not dismissing our emotions, because what can happen is that will lead to suppressing our emotion, and that'll create more blockages within. And all of you in this community are well aware, I'm sure, even if you're a new listener, that what we create within reflects in our life. So if we have these unresolved emotional wounds and these blockages, that is going to reflect in obstacles, adversity, and challenges within our life, simply giving us opportunity to overcome that suppressed emotion. But ultimately, it is essential to let go of feeling sorry for the self while simultaneously allowing yourself to feel what you got to feel, to get it out of your body. The ego has this propensity to keep you safe. And a lot of that keeping you safe is to feel sorry for yourself, is to feel sorry for itself. The mind has this reflexive thing. It's not necessarily something I would say that is inherent on a soul level, but the ego self many times has, anytime you were sad and upset, there's something, called the pity donut, right? Or the law of opposing forces, that we have attracted help in those scenarios. When we felt sorry for ourselves, eventually we attract some help. But I found it pretty interesting because although when we were children, we would cry and then maybe, attract food from our parents or love from our parents, I found something pretty interesting. I still don't see it something that is an innate pull of the spirit self, even though children are way close to that self. Recently, just a couple of days ago, I was it was just Thanksgiving, and I was having Thanksgiving with my good friends. I'm living out here in Austin, Texas. They're a couple hours away, living out in the country, about an hour from Dallas. And I was having Thanksgiving with my good friends Justin and Allie, and when we went to Justin's brother's house, and he's got these like amazing. Well, Justin's got an amazing family. So does Allie. And Justin has this incredible niece and nephew. They're just so awesome. They're just so filled with love. And I had Thanksgiving with them last year. And last year, like this year, we found ourselves hanging out with them. Like we found ourselves just hanging out with them like a lot of the time, wrestling with them. They showed us their horse, like going out into the country, playing volleyball with them, having so much fun. And one of the things that I learned about being around these kids is that they don't carry this persona of feeling sorry for themselves. Like it's so interesting, like me, Justin, and Allie, we're laughing at ourselves. Like, what is it about this that like we just actually like legitimately love hanging out with these kids? Like they're legitimately so much fun, like going on the trampoline. They like to go hang out with, they have like cattle and horses and ATVs. It's so fun to hang out with them. And we all laugh because we're like, man, the majority of the time at these Thanksgivings, because again, I was with them last year as well, we love hanging out with these children. And one of the things that I realized is that these kids, they just don't have this persona of feeling sorry for themselves. And yes, they have these moments where, you know, one of them eats shit on the trampoline and then they start crying and, you know, their dad or mom comes over, whatever. But they don't carry this overall persona of, hey, feel sorry for me. And a lot of the time, what you guys are going to experience as you begin to pursue going after your dreams and goals, getting the things that you desire, attracting the abundance that you know deep down you deserve, the mind at every corner is going to pull you to feel sorry for yourself because there are going to be challenges. There is going to be adversity. There's going to be all these moments that are going to test you and give you opportunity to activate total empowerment for who you really are. You know, they have this horse, Justin's niece and nephew. They're like, I think 5 and 9 or something. Like that's the age of them. They're 5 and they're 9. And Justin's brother and his wife, they have this horse. This horse might have been like one of the most high frequency creatures I have ever seen. Like one of the most high frequency horses I had ever been around. There was something so beautiful about this horse. And again, one of the things that I realized is a lot of the times animals, no matter what, you know, where, you know, this horse is like well taken care of, but like no matter the animal, you don't really see them ever feeling sorry for themselves. And I share this because animals and children, they are close to source. They have a deep connection with source, the all that is. And they're not identifying with feeling sorry for the self because it is not who they really are. But the problem with feeling sorry for the self, the consequences in feeling sorry for the self is it may lead you to attracting help, right? But ultimately, you will always, you know, if you continue to identify with that persona of someone that feels sorry for themselves, you will attract more experiences that reflect that back to you. You will never feel as if the money is in your life. You'll never feel as if you have the social abundance that you desire to attract. You will never feel like ultimately you have the career that you desire to have. And let me tell you this, there are all the reasons to feel sorry for the self, right? Especially with all the chaos and the adversity and the craziness that is happening in the world. There are all these reasons to feel sorry for the self. And so it takes you activating that inner superhero to let go of feeling sorry for the self, to let go of that. Because ultimately, that is where your dreams and your goals resides. It resides within you catching those moments when you feel sorry for the self. Feeling sorry for the self is simply succumbing to the illusions and the lies within the mind. When the mind convinces you that you are lonely, that's an illusion, but it will convince you that you're lonely. Because when we buy into this, there is dopamine that is released. It becomes an addiction. What a lot of people don't realize is that the physical body is literally addicted to negative emotion. And so when your brain tells you you're lonely, what begins to happen is that you begin to buy into the illusion that you're lonely, and you don't realize that you have these guides, these angels, source, your higher self to connect with. You can be on your own, but loneliness is an illusion because your guides and your angels are always there. And it's an incredible opportunity to connect deeper with them. So what happens when you feel sorry for yourself is that you distance yourself from your non-physical support system, your guides, your angels, source, the essence of who you really are. That is one of the consequences of when you begin to frequently feel sorry for the self. When you feel sorry for the self, the physical body begins to absorb this, and you will find yourself more sick. You'll find yourself more physically congested. You'll feel like, oh my gosh, why am I frequently injuring myself? Because we attract what we're a vibrational match for, so the physical body is going to reflect this. I remember when I was a kid, and I started to begin to feel like I was losing friends, right? And I talk about these days when I was in middle school where I felt lonely, right? Even though it's an illusion, I felt lonely. You couldn't convince me otherwise. When I was that kid in middle school, and I would just frequently found myself on my own. I remember attempting to hang out even with like the friend group that was like the nerds and the losers, right? They like didn't want to hang out with me. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. Completely on my own here. And what I began to realize as time passed is that, hang on. No, I got this. I was like, wait, where was I going with this? I remember when I was in middle school, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, okay. So I remember, again, so I was in middle school. I remember I just didn't feel like I had a lot of friends, so on and so forth. And this is when I began to take on this contagion that feeling sorry for the self is beneficial. I was like, there's something in me that was like, okay, don't have a lot of friends, and I begin to frequently feel sorry for myself. And I remember I used to almost have this want to get injured because I always I would dream of all the attention that I would get. I was like, and this is like almost embarrassing to share, but I remember I would think about what if I got injured and I would get all this attention and people would love me. People would want to be more of my friend. And then I remember I'd stop myself from thinking that. And I never had an inclination to injure myself. I want to make that abundantly clear. This wasn't like I need to go hurt myself. It was because I played basketball, it was like a thought of rolling my ankle or whatever it may be. Well, sure enough, this led me to, on a BMX bike, being with my brother and his friends and wanting to be like them, going off my BMX bike and face planting in the pavement and knocking my front tooth out. And I have these problems that followed me all through high school because I had no tooth. And there's it wasn't until, I don't know, 6 years ago that they finally took care of the tooth problem. But I had this tooth problem for so long because I attracted this scenario where, again, guess what happened? I did get a lot of attention when I knocked my tooth out. I had a lot of people that cared about me in that moment. And so what happens when we feel sorry for the self is that we self-sabotage. We self-sabotage because we want attention, even if we don't admit that to ourselves. We self-sabotage because we want attention. Another thing that this causes us to do is to feel sorry for others. Now, you might think that that's beneficial, but ultimately, feeling sorry for others, it is ultimately like you're putting your negative resistance on top of them because, empathy is beneficial. It is wildly beneficial to just, have empathy and understand where other people are coming from. But ultimately, if you're focused on feeling sorry for someone, you're really not seeing them for who they really are. And I've shared this example with this person that is in Whole Foods, right? There's this awesome dude out in Whole Foods, and I met him a couple of months ago. I shared him on the podcast. I shared him in our Saturday service before. And I shared a little bit about this lesson, but ultimately, he's the first blind man to be working at Whole Foods. And he works at one of those sample stands where you can go to him and get a sample. And I can just feel my heart feel sorry for him. I can feel it. And I've had to stop myself so many times and remind myself that that does not help him. People feel that. That's not an energy that is of abundance, right? You're not seeing if you're feeling sorry for someone, you're not seeing them for who they really are. But it's still I'm just going to be real. I have a high level of empathy, and I can feel myself feel sorry for this awesome human. He's blind. And I'm just like, dude, oh my gosh, I feel sorry for you. But last time I saw him, which was a couple of days ago, a couple of days ago, I saw him, and I've actually made it an intention. Go up to him, say hello, but don't go up to him because you feel sorry for him. And last time I went up to him, I can just feel a deeper connection between, and again, they're not like deep conversations I'm having with him, but I make a point to go up to him each time. He knows who I am. He's an awesome dude. And I make a point to not emotionally feel sorry for him. And I can feel a deeper release or more of a flow state within our conversation. And I'm like, I can just feel that that's more appreciated, whether he's consciously aware of it or not. It's not something that really uplifts people. It's great to have initial empathy, and maybe you inherently feel for the world, and that's like, we do need more of that, but it is a balance to step into empowerment. My big sister, she's special needs, and she's one of the greatest teachers that like I've ever seen in my entire life. She's had over like 30 surgeries. She uses a electric chair to get around. She can walk with like a walker, not totally stable, but she mainly gets around in one of those electric chairs, which she loves. It's like her favorite thing in this world. And when I was a child, and obviously people still do this, she looks a lot different. She's had, over 30 craniofacial surgeries, and people would stare at her, right? And especially children stare at her. And I remember one time being at the mall, and it would always upset me. I remember one time being at the mall, and these kids were like staring at her. They might have been like a little bit of older kids and like pointing. And I just cried. I remember just like sobbing about it. And it was so interesting because my sister has never cared. Like, she doesn't give a shit if you stare at her. Feel free to stare. And if you think about it, like, let's just be objective for a second. Children are curious creatures, right? My sister, she's had, over 30 craniofacial surgeries. That's something new that they have not seen. They are curious. They are not just like being mean or whatever it may be. And the one thing about my sister, again, she has never cared. Imagine if she cared, how disruptive that would be in her life. Every single time someone stared, she took it on. She felt sorry for herself. She's like the greatest teacher because she's got this zest and this excitement and this joy for every single day she lives. And I'm not just saying that as like, oh, I'm this guy with a special needs sister, and my special needs sister loves life, like in this cute cliche way. No, I'm legitimately saying like she loves life. She has her obstacles, obviously. She's got her challenges, obviously. She has a hard time hearing. She's got all these things. And it's funny, those are the things that she gets least upset about. She gets mostly upset when she feels like people are infringing on her freedom because she loves independence. She now lives on her own. She's got caretakers there and stuff. But like, my parents didn't know if she'd be able to do that. But she embodies everything that we're talking about in here, which is if you desire to create abundance and goodness, you got to let go of feeling sorry for yourself. If anyone has a reason to feel sorry for themselves, it would be my sister, man. She's had so many different surgeries. She can't walk. She has a hard time hearing, all these different things. She just had another surgery recently. And she just loves life. She loves people. She loves going to her day program. She absolutely loves life. And she teaches us every single day. And I'm not just saying this to sound like, cute and like, hey, no, like she legitimately loves life. And if she loves life, best believe that you can find a way to step into empowerment, to let go of feeling sorry for yourself. Again, if you're listening to this, most likely you have this desire to create abundance in your life. And I remember when that time where I cried, there were a number of different times I cried about it, but one specific time stands out in my mind. She made me feel better. She's like, she's like, it's fine. And the thing that she does, she has like a routine when children stare at her. It's like she does it every single time, right? She waves and smiles. And like y'all, it doesn't faze her. It doesn't faze her, right? It literally doesn't faze her. And so I want you guys to think about your own lives, right? I want you to think about your own lives. Where have you begun to frequently feel sorry for yourself? Do you feel alone? Do you feel like nobody wants to hang out with you like I felt when I was in middle school? Do you feel like you don't have enough money? What if you begin to see these things as a rite of passage? What if you begin to see these things as a gift? Think about the gift that my sister has given all of us and all of her challenges. The lessons that she has imparted onto us just by living in her joy. Through all of her adversity, through all of her challenges. If you guys ever heard my dad talk about my sister. It's like the greatest thing ever, right? He's like, Nick, she is so much more advanced than us. Like, he just goes on and on about how advanced this Wonder Girl is. And she really is a little Wonder Girl. She just loves her life. And I know that you listening to this, you have something in your life where you have all the reason to feel sorry for yourself. You're like, no, Nikki, I like this episode. It's great. But, I feel sorry for myself because this is real. I'm really experiencing something that maybe is like a true obstacle. But what if we were to, subscribe and look at the laws of the universe and see that everything in this universe has both positive aspects as they do negative aspects? That would give us an opportunity to see also the goodness in everything. That, like, this is a math equation. If you frequently feel sorry for yourself, you're simply attracting more that is a vibrational match to that resistance, to that negativity, that fear, the doubt, the worry, all of that. And life is going to showcase and give you all these reasons. When I was a kid in middle school and I felt like I had no friends and I felt sorry for myself, guess what I attracted? More feeling extremely lonely, more feeling like no one wanted to be my friend. And I remember it was in high school where I let go of that. And I began to really step into empowerment. And I talked about with all of you, like literally every single time when I was 16 and I began to have this awakening and I let go of feeling sorry for myself. And it was like right on the other side of that was social abundance. Right on the other side of that was me going to parties with friends, new friends, like having this wildly abundant social life. Literally what it felt like overnight. And you guys can do this for yourself as well, whether it's in regards to business, whether it's in regards to finances, socially, whatever it may be. And it takes discipline because the mind will find every reason. Again, it has this propensity. The ego has a propensity to feel sorry for itself. Why? Because that is what's going to keep you safe. That's what's going to keep you, quote unquote, safe and secure. So the question is, what do we do about this, right? In the beginning of this episode, I shared with all of you that there are two ways to begin this process of creating abundance within entrepreneurship, but just in life. So what's that second rule that we have today? Well, it's the flip side. It is to become your biggest cheerleader. That is ultimately how you begin to shift this. Now, once again, it's a little bit of a slippery slope. Now, to use my sister as an example, man, she's an emotional girl. She gets these things out of her body, and she also loves life. And so for you guys, this isn't about suppressing your emotions. Now, in our advanced offerings, we have all these ways to begin expressing yourself, healing unresolved emotional wounds. When you develop your intuition, it gives you an opportunity to identify the specific blocks and overcome your wounds. But ultimately, it's both. It is a balance. So ultimately, we want to find ways to, yes, let go of feeling sorry for ourselves, but the second rule is to become your greatest cheerleader. A couple Saturday services ago, I was like a little hesitant to sing, and I have been singing more and more, and I kind of shared that with them, and I sang a song that I wrote. And afterwards, everyone was cheering, like, dude, that was really good, and all these other things, and I realized that gave me the motivation to sing again. Well, not all the time are we going to have those people to be our biggest cheerleader, especially if you're building something that this world has yet to see. When you are your biggest cheerleader, you begin to reprogram and rewire the neural pathways, the neural networks within your mind, the ones that have caused you to feel unhappy, the ones that have caused you to feel not valuable, the ones that have caused you to not feel abundant. The question is, how can you begin in those moments of fear, doubt, worry, negativity to catch yourself and flip it and to become your biggest cheerleader? When it feels like you have no money in your bank account, how in those moments can you become your biggest cheerleader? With this podcast, I have to practice frequently, feeling the excitement for it, feeling the excitement. Ultimately, like manifestation 101 is like, how would you like others to feel about you? Like, I guess manifesting anything. Yeah. How would you like others to feel about you? How can you feel that about yourself? Simply. Or it's like, how would you like the thing that you desire to attract to feel? How can you feel it? And so ultimately, with the things that you're putting out there in the world, with the things that you're creating, how can you begin to feel that high level of excitement for it? And it's going to require you to be your biggest cheerleader. It's going to require you to love all aspects of what you're creating, even in the moments when it feels like you don't have the support. You don't have what it takes to create something, because you're going to have those moments. Because again, the ego is going to have these reflexive moments frequently where it is attempting to elicit this feeling sorry for itself, or causing you to feel sorry for yourself. But ultimately, when you let go of that, when you abandon this idea that you're going to feel sorry for yourself, it's not that there's not going to be challenges, because ultimately you might be faced with, okay, I'm suppressing emotion. Now I got to feel my emotion. But ultimately, bigger picture, if you go down this path and you commit to mastering the art and letting go of feeling sorry for yourself, it is inevitable that you will attract what you desire, because you will begin to attract the solutions that you're looking for. When you begin to be your biggest cheerleader, you will begin to attract the solutions that you are looking for. To be your biggest cheerleader is to activate the source within you. Because ultimately, the positive aspects of letting go of feeling sorry for yourself and being your greatest cheerleader is that you begin to attract the solutions to where you feel stuck. You begin to step into and really realize what you're made of. I can't tell you the amount of obstacles and adversity that I've experienced in my life where I just so badly wanted to feel sorry for myself. And I didn't. And I let go of that. And on the other side of that, I realized, holy shit, I'm a bad motherfucker. And each of you listening to this, you are a bad motherfucker. You are a bad bitch. But there's only one way to really activate that. It is when you're faced with adversity, and not just to drag your feet through the mud, but to run and stomp through the mud, to go, this is the best fucking thing that has ever happened for me. Yes, on the outside, it looks horrible. Yes, on the outside, I wish this wasn't happening, but that doesn't matter, because I am empowered. I am a creation, a daughter or a son of Source. I am an expression. I am an extension of the all that is. And this is the greatest gift that has happened for me. And what's going to happen is you're going to wake up the next day and your brain's going to want to feel sorry for yourself again. But ultimately, if you can get over that hump and go, I'm going to get up and I'm going to integrate my morning routine. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to find appreciation. I'm going to love myself. What you're going to realize is there's more abundance on the other side. And momentum is one of the greatest forces that we have in this universe. And so you're going to begin to find that you're going to attract more of a life experience that's high frequency, more goodness into your life. Your ideas are going to feel more high frequency, more in alignment with Source. You're going to attract more mental acuity. Your body is going to start to feel more healthy. It's so interesting because, again, I'll walk by a mirror sometimes and my brain will want to feel sorry for myself if I don't like the way I'm looking that morning. And now I catch myself. I legitimately catch myself, and I will look in that mirror and go, you are a hottie, dude. You're a hot piece of ass, dude. I will talk to myself. I will talk to my skin, my hair, my eye, my eyebrows, my neck, my ears. And it's so funny. I remember a couple weeks ago, I was doubling down on this. And then what begins to happen is you legitimately begin to feel yourself. And my brother, who's my brother, he's not all the time being hey, man, you look really good, loves to give me a hard time, but he's also the best brother in the world. I love him. And he was just on the phone. He's like, man, you look hot right now. I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like, it's in my creator phase. He kept saying it. He's like, you look really good right now. And he actually said it the other day while I was on FaceTime with him. And I think it's just so funny because it's just, we overcomplicate these things sometimes because it gets complicated in our own minds. We overcomplicate it. But what I began to realize is that, going back to our first story, which is being around children, they don't have this persona of feeling sorry for themselves. So it is your innate self. But because the ego has this propensity to feel sorry for itself, a natural inclination, it has these maladaptive habits to feel sorry for the self, we think that feeling sorry for ourselves is innate, right? But ultimately, it is not on a spirit level. Who you are is empowered. You are protected by the Almighty, the all that is. And if you're frequently feeling sorry for yourself, you're going to take on these habits, these practices that aren't serving you. Because if you feel sorry for the self and you believe that you're lonely, you're going to do things that a lonely person would do. Maybe scroll on social media more than that is beneficial for you. You will lay on your bed longer than is beneficial for you. You will do these things because you are the creator of your reality. You will feel like it's impossible to overcome. Why? Because the ego is so powerful in going, okay, you feel safe not feeling safe and not feeling empowered, let's convince you it's impossible to overcome this adversity. It's impossible to overcome feeling sorry for the self. You have to be relentless. You have to be relentless. This is a daily activity to let go of feeling sorry for the self. And ultimately, what's going to happen is you're going to begin to attract more abundance, and you're going to find yourself in this flow state. And you have to hold the tension in those moments when you want to feel sorry for the self. And again, this is not about suppressing emotion. There is a time, there is a place to feel your emotions, to get it out of your body, to shout, to scream. I have given that SAP to clients, which is like get it out of your body, and giving them all the protocol. But ultimately, it is also about catching yourself in these moments. So I want you to begin to identify the challenges in your life and to think about all the moments where you have been feeling sorry for yourself. And I want you to ask yourself this question: what if I went beyond feeling empowered in this moment? Because a lot of you are listening to this episode and you may feel empowered, you may feel excited, but what about from 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, 6 months from now, and you slip back into those patterns of feeling sorry for the self, right? There's things that some of you guys want to invest in, whether that might be a new car, whether that might be some sort of mentor, whether that might be a new apartment, a new house. And the brain wants to feel sorry for you. It wants to go, I can't afford this. And even though on a mental level, you're like, I'm not going to feel sorry for the self, emotionally, you still might feel sorry for the self. And these are the moments to begin becoming hyper aware of. Because if you don't become aware of them, giving you guys the advanced protocols and techniques to shift them, it won't even matter. It's like saying that your car is broken down. You have no idea what's wrong with it. There's no reason to tell you how to fix it if you don't know what's wrong with it. And so for you guys, the first step is to begin identifying all the moments that go below the level of the conscious mind, and to begin to realize all the moments that you have been feeling sorry for the self. And then we can begin to make those shifts. And this is the thing that's going to change your life more than anything. And when you become your biggest cheerleader, you begin to legitimately cheer for the self to the point it feels goddamn delusional. To the point it feels goddamn delusional. Your life is going to reflect this energy, this frequency, this vibration. You're going to feel more in accordance with your purpose, more in accordance with your mission. You know, one of the things that attracts finances, financial abundance, is safety, security. So when you're cheering for the self, you're going to feel more safe. You're going to feel more secure. And you're going to attract more abundance in your life because you're going to begin to attract more ideas that are in accordance with your purpose, more value to offer the world. And so I couldn't encourage you guys enough. Go beyond this episode. See how you can begin to integrate in your day-to-day life experience. I want to thank you guys so much for being a listener of Source Clarity Podcast. I am so grateful for this incredible community that we have. I've been getting to meet you guys at Saturday service, our in-person community gathering experience. We are building a church out in Austin, Texas, and I've been to meet you guys in person. I've actually ran into some of you out in Austin. I've met people that are like, oh my gosh, I've been following you for years, and I listen to the podcast, and I'm always like, I think more excited to meet you than you are me, because I'm like, wait a minute, you know me from social media or the podcast? I'm like, whoa, that is so dang trippy. And so it's always fun for me. So if you ever see me in person, please say hi, because I will be like more excited to meet you, because I'm like, that's cool as shit. But we have this amazing community that we have created, and we're going to begin creating more in-person experiences that go outside of Austin. So look out for that. And if you're looking to develop your intuition, we have a free Access Your Intuition like a workshop. It's a workshop. So you guys can get that in the show notes. Go to the show notes. Even if you've developed your intuition, it's an incredible refresher. We've had our advanced intuitives watch this. It actually used to be module 1 for one of our intuition courses, but I wanted to give it away for free for all of you. And I've had, again, our advanced intuitives rewatch it and love it and be like, wow, this is the greatest reminder for me. So you guys can watch that free Access Your Intuition workshop in the show notes. And again, thank you for being in this community. You are so wonderful. And yeah, alrighty friends, stay awesome and authentic. Alrighty friends, peace.